Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Style Wednesday with the Queen of Style. And it's one day before the holidays, Christmas. And guess who what we have in the studio this evening? The one and only Avril Francis, TV host, radio host, and much more titles than we can celebrate with her today. So this evening, guys, yes, and I'm wearing my sunglasses that represent the holidays because that's what we do. Even though we're not talking style tonight, we're in style. Remember that. Everything we do and all we do is about style. So guys, it's Style Wednesday with the Queen of Style. As I said, welcome to our show, Miss Avril Francis, out there in the amazing world. So Avril,
Ooh,
welcome.
Wendy, good evening, good evening, good evening. When you're accustomed to be in the host seat, it's a problem when you're not, because I'm here trying to share it, and I recognize I can't even share it to my page because I am not the host. So forgive me, and it's you put me in a hot seat tonight because when you're the boss, and when you're accustomed to be the one leading, and then all of a sudden you're not the one leading, you just got to take a step back and catch yourself. So I was about to share it to my page, but I realized that, Avril, you're not in control tonight. Relax and enjoy my background.
No worries. Avril, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know it's the holidays and you're quite busy doing a lot of volunteer work, and that's what I love about you. The one thing I want you to tell the audience and my people is tell them who is Avril Francis? What is Avril Francis about?
Wendy, you're going to hear it, but Wendy, I have a little problem with you. I have a little issue with you. I noticed I came on the show, Wendy, and I'm just going to take it off because I'm so disappointed. Wendy, don't you see my lips?
Of course, your lips are red
Wendy, do you ever know me to wear lipstick?
because you're on Style Wednesday. But
Now
that's
you get it.
fact. And that's why I'm saying let the people know who Avril Francis is because Avril Francis is a lady of many hats. So tell them who Avril is.
Well, this is Avril Francis, and for those who watching and who don't know, this is the Avril show that, for 18 years, I must say, from 2004, because sometimes we forget the years. 2004, I started out on WVIP 93.5 FM radio, hosting a talk show. And I continued to do that, went into television, and as you say, so much into the community and doing the things that I love to do. I just think whatever I do, it's not even of me. It's just about the people, what the people need. It's not about what I need. I don't even know how to act tonight, Wendy, because you got to understand I'm wearing lipstick and it might prevent me from talking.
No, Avril, definitely I love it because you know why? Because we have done a lot of work together and
Hmm.
you're very you're not one to wear lipstick, and I know you're wearing Boss Lady Cosmetics tonight because I represent that lipstick because look at my lips as well. So
Yes, it is.
I do appreciate you supporting the brand and supporting black owned at this current time. As we should say, it matters to us. So
That's right.
Avril, you've been in the business for quite a while. Tell us about how did you get started in hosting television and radio?
My mouth got me in trouble one day. I was driving and listening to my radio and heard a gentleman speaking on the air. So when Trevor started talking about women, I get a little tipsy up myself. And I called in. I said, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." And start giving this man a hard time live on the air. So when I was finished with him, all his listeners said, "Man, you need to bring her back." So he threatened me. He said, "If you got all this mouth and you think you could do my show, maybe you need to come into my studio." I said, "Just open your mouth and say it, and I'll be there." Well, he invited me into the show one Monday morning at 5 a.m. It was like ghost time, but I was driving up to 93.5 FM, and I went and hosted this show with him. And when I finished that Monday, he said, "Would you be available tomorrow?" And tomorrow turned into 5 days for the entire week. So I hosted his show and was with him for about 2 years, took a break 1 year, And then the station called me and say, the people are asking if I'm coming back. And they had a slot, which was Monday at 9 p.m. So I decided, okay, I'll try it and I will go out and get some sponsors. And I step into the hot seat as if I know what I was doing on my own in prime time. It was very expensive. And I tell you, I walk into the place I went first was a funeral home. Now,
Wow.
who tell me to go into a funeral home? This man, Mr. Austin at McCall's funeral home, was so very much into his business. Don't know who I am. And he says, I'll have to look into it because they don't know what I'm capable of doing. And the manager, Miss Myers, said, well, let's give a try. We can try for 2 weeks with you and we will see how the show goes and we will make a decision. And Wendy, they started with me in 2004 and still with me, and I become part of the family and the business.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Avril, I know you've been doing this so long that it's so natural to you. But tell me, you have done radio, you had your own television show at one point. So tell me when you think about radio and television, which one do you love more?
I think I had prefer radio
Mhm.
because I'm a talker, but I don't like the spotlight. So
Yo,
you see, when you're on radio, you could be in your pajamas and nobody know, and you just back there talking your mouth off. But when I got to put some style on like you, this is what television do for you. You have to make sure your lipstick on right, your hair done all the time, changing of clothes, changing of fashion. It's a lot for television and being in the spotlight. So I would say I would choose radio any day over television because you can't see me, but you can hear me.
excellent. And how long did you have your television show for?
Hmm. Well, I started television a couple couple years, but I can't even remember now what year I started because I went there just for trial, end up doing my own the Avril show Thursdays at 10 p.m. But I took a break from it and I also went into producing someone else's show. And it becomes so much trying to focus on guests for radio, guests for television. And then when I realized I got to find clothes for television, and when do you know when you start putting on the little weight?
Well,
Yeah.
that's how I come involved because as the stylist, you should have hired me a long time ago, and I would have
Oh,
styled you.
I
Okay.
need, I need, I need your good friend, the chef here now to defend me. Let me say, Wendy, I tried. I heard about Wendy, not Wendy, not the other Wendy, but I heard about my Wendy Isaac. And every time I listen, I heard she's from St. Kitts, Nevis. So I decide I got to reach out. We got to support each other, sisters, and home girl. And you're so proud, but I think I was going to the wrong people trying to find you because all I can get, yeah, I'll connect you. Yeah, I'll tell her. And it went on for years until Mitchum, your friend,
Yes.
ran into me one day and he says, man, I have a sister. She's from St. Kitts Nevis. She's into something similar like you. And I think you all can work together, man. And I said, what does she do? And it was Wendy Isaac. And I said, oh my goodness, I've been trying to find this girl for how long?
And
And he made a connection. And here we are.
and nothing happens before it's time, as we would say, right?
Absolutely.
So what stopped you from giving up? Is there anything that stopped you from giving up radio and television? It's your passion.
Oh,
I hear it. I feel it. I see it in you. What has stopped you? What are some obstacles?
listen to me, Wendy. In the world of what we're into, media, call it media,
Media. Hmm.
I would say there is so much things that could have stopped me. Because one thing I've learned when you're at the bottom, either people walk over you or people don't even care to look your way. Most. But when you start to rise and a little light shine on you, and some people feel, well, the light is not shining on them, you got to be careful with the attack that comes.
Mhm.
And I got so much of that. As a single Black woman from the small islands, the attack came. Who she thinks she is?
What 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 didn't stop you from that? Because you haven't stopped. That didn't stop you.
What
So
didn't stop me has to be the passion.
exactly.
Because when you're doing something from your heart and you're doing something that you're called to do, you cannot even see the roadblocks. You're going to keep moving. You
Mhm.
cannot see the roadblocks when you're called. It's like they say 7 is completion. When I did 7 years on radio, I said, well, I did 7 years and that is it. And I remember walking in and thinking about sponsorship and I can't do this. It costs too much to be on radio. I did 7 years, I'm giving up. And I must admit to you, I'm getting a feedback. Yeah, I must admit to you that after 7 years, one of my sponsors say, you ain't going nowhere. And here come Best Deal that stepped in. And I said, well, God, you probably called me for such a time as this. And it continued. So after 7 years, I'm still here doing what I do and what I love to do.
Amazing. That is so great. And thank you for being a sponsor for the media sponsor for Le Coiffeur last year, which was really good. Thank you for that. And
Mhm.
really appreciate you being involved in that and, just giving so much love. Uh, that's something that we continue to do each day and every day out. Then, my question, the community. Last year, was it last year or early this year? I saw you got that big, big, big award. I was like, whoo, there goes my friend. There goes my friend. The city is giving her an award for her amazing community work. I feel like there is no, I don't even have the word right now to express how excited, how happy, how, I shared it on my page because you do a lot for the community. And to be getting that award in Albany, New York, in
Oh,
front of the whole, New York City, New York State, it was epic. And I gotta congratulate you because when I see you doing all this charity, raising funds, calling, and doing all that you do, I have to say, what is Avril not doing? Let's talk about the community. Let's talk about that award. Tell us what made them give you that award.
I wish I could ask who gave it to me because, listen, I was given the humanitarian award. Yes, 2020 before the pandemic in
Yes.
Albany. And this was given to me by State Senator Jamal Bailey.
Yes.
And I know Carl Hasty somewhere behind that, and Hugh Campbell, and all who thought that I deserved to be given the humanitarian award. And at first I said, can someone accept it for me? Because they said it's going to be in Albany. And you hear Albany, you're surrounded by all these politicians and media and spotlight. And they said, no. Hugh Campbell said, no, you need to come on up and spend at least a day and enjoy Albany. Well, Wendy, first of all, just hearing the word Albany, think of freezing, cold. And I got up there, and girl, let me tell you something. After receiving that award, they had the ball, the governor's ball. They had so much things going on that weekend. It was Valentine's weekend. And I said, after the award, I'm leaving to go back home. I can't take the cold in Albany. But I was given the humanitarian award, and I want to thank so much to Senator Jamal Bailey for even thinking that I deserve such an honor. And I accepted it on behalf of everyone who helped me to become who I am today.
But Avril, you do a lot. I know you do that toy drive every year for the kids. And I just saw that you just completed that. So you
Oh,
so
that is not even finished.
exactly because is okay, you're Santa Claus. So you have to make sure the kids get their gifts, right? And this is what I call you in the community. I said she is the Santa Claus for the community because you make sure everybody is taken care of, whether it's Christmas, back to school, or even around your cancer foundation that you have, that I attended last year, which was
Oh,
great.
yes. Thank
And
you.
we're going to get into that. But I just want to talk about the community, because every time I see you, you're doing something, whether you're at the 47 precinct, whether you're out there giving toys, whether you focus on COVID drive, like, you are respecting the community is huge. So I must say, I salute you. And I want you to continue that, because that is something amazing. And you always pull everybody involved. So tell me, where did this passion come from? Where did you get this passion for community events?
I am still trying to figure it out. I am still trying to figure it out. But I guess, as I said, it has to be something that you was called to do. When you're called to do something, it just happened. It just happened. It's like you wanting to stop fashion, but the more you want to stop, something else is added to you. You say, oh, here you come with the lipstick. Here you come with the shades. There's always something. So you want to know, how can you give up? It's not over yet. And then you
Yes.
realize there's something else that you have not done. And the minute you say you're giving up, something else presents itself. So for the community, I, being on the radio and being very outspoken and was reaching the community, I was out one day and ran into a former president of the 47 precinct, and who tell me thank you for what I'm doing, and promoting what I promote. And at one time I was promoting togetherness with the community and police, back in the days when we had the Romali Graham story where he was murdered in his home. I jumped into, because the mother was very upset, and you could understand the family being upset, and I went to make peace. And I brought together the mother and NYPD at the 47th precinct to say, let's talk, let's protest, but let's do it peacefully. And she works with me until today, where she always never forget to say thank you. And it just become this ongoing thing. And at the my church, I started with the youths. You look around, you see youths in the church, you want to encourage young people, you want to do so much. So even as of tomorrow, I'll be also doing my clothes drive, where with NY Community Affairs from One Police Plaza, where we're going to be giving out clothing to children in need. And they're coming up with the toys. So it just continue. I don't even know how I ended up at One Police Plaza. And the minute I was invited there to meet, this was over nearly 10, 11 years ago. And I tried to introduce myself. They say, you don't have to do that. We already know. So words get around. You never know who is watching. You don't know who have eyes on you. So no matter what you do, you got to make sure that your lipstick is on right. Somebody's watching. Mhm. So I have
Don't
been,
have to worry, because you have the stylist on deck, and we're
that's it,
going to style you anytime, just a phone call away.
girl. That's what boosts me up right now.
Yes, thank you. Other field I want to touch on, the political field. You're very involved in the local community political areas, right? And
Mhm.
I know you have your Avril show, and you have several senators or several candidates, and you ask to come out and support. They support you. Again, Avril, listen, I know you talk a lot. I know you love your mouth. I know you could do the things. How you get involved, Avril? I have to bring it back in Kittitian language. How you get there?
Wendy, don't you realize that I'm just like blushing tonight? Wendy, you put me in the hot seat.
I have to put you in the hot seat, because you're always putting everybody in the hot seat. So tonight is your
I
time.
deserve it, right? I deserve it. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. Well, listen to me. The whole problem about this is that, for some apparent reason, I don't know if it's just being on the radio and being outspoken and talking and running into. And the first politician that I would say took me under their wing and believed in me and my work was Assembly Speaker Carly Hasty.
Mhm.
And I have been working with them in the community, him and his team and his staff and everyone that he brings into his circle. And it transpired over now to transfer over to an attorney, Hugh Campbell, who I started doing so much with in the community. And it just took off. So somebody hear about you somewhere, somehow, and end up meeting all these politicians and being vocal and promoting them on the radio and talking one-on-one with them. I guess they believe in me. I don't know what it is I did, but it happens. But from the district attorney, our Darcel Clark, and everyone, the Bronxboro president, Ruben Diaz Jr., I can call their names. Even Brooklyn, I could take you into Brooklyn and Queens. It just happened. And, to ask a question like that, when I say I don't even know how it happened, it just happened. So when you see I interview the Honorable Mark Brantley a few weeks ago, I said, well, it gone further now than just America.
The
You know,
international.
when they stop blowing up my lipstick.
Said I have to put you on the spot.
Yes, I see you doing that well because I'm blushing.
Spotlight. You make people gag and don't have words. So here tonight is about Avril and telling people what do you do and how you have made such amazing strive in the community and internationally. I heard a little secret though. Somebody told me that you might be running for Senate. So like, I don't know what's going on with that one. But I said, you know what? She didn't say anything yet. But I said, I guess it might be coming soon. If you're running for the Senate, let me know.
But it's funny that you're saying this tonight. It's two things you say tonight I'm gonna hold you guilty for. I know you don't know Barbara Gibson. You don't know her. And it's funny that today Barbara texted me 2 times on Facebook. And she said, thank you, Santa Claus. You came on the show tonight and called me Santa Claus. Today I got a call from Miss Shirley Tripico, who says to me, someone called me and said that you're running. And I said, if I was, I would let you know. And she said, that's exactly what I said to them. If she was doing that, she let me know. Now tonight you come and say the same thing. I wonder if there's something that they have planned for me that I'm not aware of. Am I being set up or what? Because Wendy, I love radio. I love doing what I do and I'm not crossing over.
Well, I know you love that, but that will be a really amazing thing for you. I think that is something that's in your blood as well, and you're passionate for, because I see it in your see when you're with the politicians, how you campaign for them, and you do a lot for the community. So I think that will be a good thing for you. Well, let's take it to the international waters, where
Ooh.
you have hosted many international reggae shows and you know, met with all the reggae artists, the dancehall artists, the celebrities around the world. Let's talk about that, because that's a fun area for you. Let's talk about that. You have met every reggae celebrity that there is out there, every dancehall artist, let's talk about that. Is that one of the areas that you enjoy the best, or is it meeting them, being interacting with them? Because, as I said, Avril, you don't hold your mouth for nothing.
I'm blushing tonight though, Wendy. And for you to do that to me, Wendy, after the show, I'm going to become myself. Well, Wendy, I will be honest with you. I'm not someone that is crazy about the word celebrities. I put no one on a pedestal, because when they fail you, it can be very devastating. I look at people for their gifts and their talent. And if you're good at it, I'm going to tell you you're great at it. But you would see me on social media. I would share something Wendy is doing before I share something the big celebrities are doing, because I feel I was called to lift people in this world. I was called to make a difference. I wasn't called to promote who was already promoted. So for me and celebrities, if there's something about you, yes, when I meet you, I'm going to have some fun time with you because you have touched me in some way. But I'm going to use, for example, I was in St. Kitts when Fantasia was there.
Yeah.
And I was behind the scene interviewing a security guard. And everyone say, are you not interviewing Fantasia? And I said, there's something about Fantasia that I am picking up in my spirit that is not right. Maybe she's not feeling good, but there's something about her. And I went back and interviewed that local person. And when the show was over, I didn't interview Fantasia. And I went back to the hotel. I said, there's something about Fantasia, but God, whatever it is, work on it. 2 weeks later, she was in the papers. And I said, I know something was wrong. But what I'm saying is to say people were crazy that I was so busy interviewing a local person
Mhm.
versus running after Fantasia. But see, I believe God always lead my path, and whatever I'm doing, God always guide me. Because I am not struck by celebrities. I have met Beanie Man. And let me tell you, it was the best interview I had. And it's because he's so comical. It's because he's so down to earth. The fun and the laughter he bring, we just flow and had a great time. That was one of the best interviews. And I have traveled to Jamaica where I cover the jazz and blues. And I want to thank them so much. But they have also worked with me in St. Kitts. And I get there, and one artist that I interview, everybody call him, um, oh, it's one of the big celebrities now. Everybody call him. He's on my page. I interview him. I can't bring his name now, and he's so famous. But everybody say, "You did what? You interviewed him?" And I said, "Yes." But during the interview, this man got up and he says, "Hold on." He had to laugh his way out of it. And I said, "We're just doing an interview," but I had him cracking up all night. And I said, "Oh, when I can do this to an artist, it shows that it's just my humor. It's not about, I just want to say, oh, I'm there with an artist and I'm excited." I brought out something out of that man. And you know him, he had resigned. He's a big singer, an American artist, and he's all over my Facebook page. I wish I could bring it up and remember who he is. But Charlie, they call him Charlie. Lord, somebody gotta help us. Isn't that, yeah, somebody gotta help him. Charlie, he's a big time American singer, and they don't call him Charlie. They call him the oh Lord, Wendy, it's a shame. But for some apparent reason, I'm going to tell you, we're going to get the name. If somebody could look on my page, they will show. But he's Charlie. Somebody will text us who's watching. But he's one of the greatest artists you could find, an American artist. But people was excited. You really interview that man, and it just was so natural that even after the interview, I didn't feel any difference. There was no difference. He just seemed like someone down to earth, and he's just an artist performing just like you. Let me turn it back on you. I see you walk the runway for Fashion Week, and I'm sitting saying, how in God's world Wendy walk in those shoes? I was so fascinated by those shoes. I said, how does she do it? You don't look down, you don't pay attention, you will just walk in with confidence. That's your gift. That's what you were called to do. And I remember when I was advertising your show and I said, oh, I'm going to be on Fashion Week and I'm going to be walking. And they say, when do you need to build a stronger stage? Charlie Wilson,
Yes.
Charlie
Okay.
Wilson. Yes, I interviewed Charlie Wilson, and it was amazing to feel the love. And I say that's what I tell people all the time. They're human beings.
Mhm.
They're just human beings. You cannot go around and look into an artist as God. You have to look at an artist as someone God blessed with a special talent and a gift. But we worship artists so much and celebrities that we forget to lift our own brothers and sisters up. So we got to focus first on the grassroots, because those who are celebrities and up there, they started where we are, not
Yeah.
where you are. Because Wendy, when you're doing Fashion Week and walking in those kind of shoes, you pass where I am. Because I sat in the audience and the only thing I was looking at is those men you bring on stage. You must not do that, Wendy, because everybody don't have a strong heart. Your mother was sitting in the front of me, and I was so glad your mother was in the front, not looking back, because I was holding my heart all night. You cannot bring men like that on stage to single woman like me. It's not good. It's not healthy.
You guys know we bring spice. And if your heart is not right, you better make sure that you have the 911 on speed dial. And that's what we do.
at Fashion Week.
Yes, yes. But you know what, Avril? When we talk about like the community, when we talk about the support, that's you. You're international host. You have hosted around the world, and you continue to host, and you have had several television shows and host radio shows. So anybody that's looking to go into that field, what are some recommendations that you will give them? Some tips?
To go into radio, it has to be your calling. Anyone can do radio, anyone could host a show, anyone could do a talk show. It has to be your calling. And I can look at someone, and when they're operating in their calling, I could tell you they was called to do that. Because it's like, look, for example, the pandemic. Everybody started doing online radio, online TV. Everybody's doing interview. But I can tell you the ones who's just having a good time and the ones that are genuine. Your gift is not something that you can even change if you want to change it. You're going to operate in that until God says it's over. So what you're doing, Wendy, you was called, and I guarantee you, if someone was to do an interview and try to figure out if you went and get your PhD in what you do, it has nothing to do with a PhD. It has to do with your calling, your gift. Because when you're growing, like myself, let me say, I was beaten. And I'm telling you about beaten, Wendy. Literally beaten. And we're in Aspinall School, for those who went to school in St. Thomas. I was put out of school, out of junior high. I couldn't stop talking. And when the teacher told me that if I do not shut up, she was putting me out. I said, go ahead, put me out. And I gave her a challenge that day. And let me tell you something. I even burned the woman's skirt because I didn't do my exam. And the next day when I went in, where everybody was getting the 100, the 90, the 80, she just gave me back the paper with an attitude like, you failed. And she didn't fail me, I failed myself. But I was so busy talking that I took a lighter from this guy and I light her skirt. And when she saw that, she said the only person could have done that was Avril. And she took me to the principal and they decided to expel me. And guess what my mother says? I'm sending you back to St. Kitts. And I said, Mom, don't do that to me. Give me another chance. They put me in another school one day. They put me out for talking. And then my mother decided she can't do this no more. My mouth is putting me in trouble. But then I decide, okay, Mom, can I go to adult education so that I could finish high school? And they allowed me to go there. And when I went there, I started out writing. I wrote for, introductory night. That's when you're graduating from high school. And I wrote a play. I heard about this man. He had beat up his woman so bad. And I got the whole story down pat. I wrote a play about it. So instead of talking about it, I got some people together and I said, we want to put on a play for introductory night. When that play came off, I ended up on stage even singing with the Imagination Brass. And they said, we didn't know you had that talent. I said, yeah, but my mother tried to beat it out of me. And Wendy, today, I'm still talking.
And it's what you do best, and
And
what's
it's what
paying
I
the
do
bills,
best.
and it's what's
Thank you.
paying the bills, and it what makes you who you are.
Absolutely. So your
So
mother couldn't have beat talent out of you. Your
listen,
mother could not have beaten talent out of you.
Avril, she hide the high heels. She tell me if I go on one more stage, is me and her. It was a lot, but she couldn't stop. It would not stop.
So the message that I could say to you, just like you asked me, when you're called to do what you're called to do, Wendy, no matter how much beating and beat down and talk down you get, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes parents, we don't realize the gift that God called our children to do versus what we want our children to do. That is the problem. Is everybody telling you what you should do in life? Oh, you're gonna be good at being a nurse. And you can't even handle seeing blood.
Listen, we call to do certain things, and that's why we have to follow and just be passionate. And as you say, once you're working from the heart, I believe in this. It never feels like work because it feels like something that's coming naturally. And that's why I can see you doing so many things and not being tired or not being frustrated. I have never seen you tired or frustrated. I might hear you say it, but I have never seen it. So, the respect that you have for the community, the respect that you have for people, it's unbelievable. I know you also have a women's group that I pop in when I can, and that's amazing, empowering women. And
Mhm.
I think that is really good because a lot of us need that voice to listen to. A lot of us need that person that we could call on and say, and I think you're providing that for a lot of people in all ages, in all categories, in all genres. Because when you say you deal with politicians to, the less fortunate, you do it all. So, when you got that award as a humanitarian award, that was impeccable. It was amazing. You did the right thing, and it showed because they awarded you in Albany, and that's a big deal. And it's a big deal.
Yeah, and to me, Wendy, I didn't even know. And I think Senator Jamal Bailey, it's funny when I went on stage to accept the award, even words I couldn't find. I just ended it by saying there's nothing more I could add to what the senator already said about me. I don't like to speak about myself. It's the hardest thing for you to tell me to write something about Avril or speak about who is Avril. But I go out and speak about who is Wendy Isaac in a heartbeat. It's like asking for money to help me is the hardest thing for me to do. But I will go out and get money in a minute to feed those who are in need. So I don't know how to beg for myself, but I know how to allocate for other people. So
Oh,
receiving the humanitarian award, it's something major than I thought.
yes.
Because I say someone said, well, if it's humanitarian, it means you're doing a lot. And this person didn't know me. And I said, I got to leave it there until it's sinking. I put it on my page and I said, I got to leave it there so I could remember. And every time I look at it, I remember Senator Jamal Bailey. I remember the Carl Hasty. Remember those people who stood by me and said she deserved this. And for them to do that, I said, why not someone my own? How come this didn't happen? How come my own don't see in me what others see? And I started to look into that. And I said, it seems as if the closer we are to our family, to our friends, the less they see of us, or they just take it for granted that, oh, it's Wendy, it's my sister. Oh, she's into fashion. Oh, Lord, she in this fashion. I don't know if you ever heard that where your own people will speak to you like, oh, that's Wendy, she in her hair. But somebody will see your hair and they go, oh my God, I love it. And your own people never say, oh my God, I love it. What is it about us that we can't push our own?
Avril, well, you're getting me to another topic of another show. So here, what I'm gonna do. We're gonna talk about the Avril Francis Cancer Foundation,
Ah,
and what we're gonna talk about is when did this start and why are you so passionate about this cause?
the Cancer Foundation, again, is something that you're around so many people that you see coming down with cancer. Every time you turn around, some friend, somebody that you know dying from cancer. And every year you get all these things in the mail telling you that they would like you to donate, or you hear about the cancer walk and somebody asking you for money. So I said, well, you know what? If I'm going to go out and always send money and I don't know where it's going, I want to control where my money is going. That means if I raise money for cancer and I want to use that money to support the cancer walk, at least I know where the money was donated to. So I decided, I sat down with attorney Hugh Campbell because I don't know anything about foundation. And what people got to understand is a difference between a foundation and an organization.
Mhm.
So when I started out, I went straight into a foundation, didn't understand the difference, but I'm glad I did because a foundation make you accountable for the money, how you use it, and what you do for it. So I say, God, it has to be you. Because see, when you have an organization, you could do whatever you want. But the foundation, you have to put your eye over every dotted. You got to make sure the dots are there. So I started that, and the way that I started it was to also help the kids in the community. I see the kids in my church. You have kids during summer. Parents are saying, "What am I going to do with my kids? Where am I going to put them for the summer? I got to go to work." So I came up with a plan that whatever we raise, I will make sure that I can pay for these kids' summer camp so the parents don't have to worry so much. My church don't have to worry about so much and trying to find money for back to school and all these things. So I came up with all these ideas that in my head, how I can help. And the Cancer Foundation, I thank everyone who come out and support. The money goes right back into sending kids to summer camp. This year we could not have done it. So I make sure that I do other things that if someone is in need and we could help them, that is what we do. So the money is raised and it has to be spent out into what? Because we can't save it. I can't get paid for it. And the night of the show, I'm literally falling apart. And I say, God, with all this work and effort I put into this, I don't get a dollar. I don't even count the dollar. I make sure I have someone who's responsible for that, an attorney Hugh Campbell, who overlooked the funding and make sure that the money goes into the bank. Nothing can come to my hand and I can't take nothing. I don't even want to look at it. I just want to hear how much we raise and that it's enough to take care of the kids for the summer programs and everything that we do in the community.
And that's really good. And last year when I attended, you awarded some of the cancer survivors and some who were did great work for the community. So I think that was great as well. So Avril, like based on what you're doing, it's really amazing. I can't say it enough. And what I can say, I just gotta continue doing what you do and continue being great and continue giving back to the community. You know, we are always here. Local for it's always here and to support anything that you need. So definitely, as usual, I know you won't be a stranger. I know you always texting and calling. So definitely, that is something else. So
I thank you. And Wendy, one thing you got to support is my other lip because I guess you're so busy always encouraging me and prepping me that you don't realize that you notice that nobody wear lipstick the way I do. The lipstick is only on the bottom lip, Wendy.
I realize that Avril, but Avril, you're
Yeah,
kind. And I say one of a kind because you do things different. And I am not even going to go there with you
thank you.
because nobody will understand when I say, Avril told me, you're going to teach me to walk. But here, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sit and I'm going to sit. And the shoe is going to be like I was walking in the shoe. So
Oh,
they
yeah.
think that I was walking in the shoe. I said, Avril, no, we're going to have classes. She said, no,
Mhm.
Wendy, I just want to sit so I look like I know how to walk in the shoe.
That's it. My plan was to put those shoes on in 2020, Wendy, and I was going to put the shoes on while I'm sitting, put my feet up high so everybody pass can say, oh my God, I love those shoes, but I won't dare get up in it. So God knows why this pandemic set back Fashion Week for 2020 because I ain't get to do it, Wendy, but it's coming. It's coming. I don't mind you put me in those heels, but make sure that I'm standing in one position and you don't ask me to move.
I will definitely. But anything else that you want to say to the our audience and our crowd and that's out there, you know?
What I want to say, Wendy, most of all, is I want to thank you for breaking this where someone is asking me about Avril. Because as you know, I'm always asking somebody about themselves. But most important, and I want to say, I hope I can take the time to congratulate our new 12th District Councilman, Mr. Kevin Riley, who just won the election last night. So let me tell you something, Wendy. When you asked me to be on this show tonight, I said it to my girlfriend today. I said, Wendy is such a lucky person, but I can't say no to her. I had canceled every show after this Monday. I said the last show I was doing this week was Monday gone. So the ladies group was supposed to be on tonight where we was talking about Christmas. So I said to them, can we do it before so we all can have Wednesday and Thursday to prepare ourselves for the holidays? So that's why we did it last
That,
Friday. And I decided I'm going to do my show Monday, but I'm canceling out Thursday night. So Thursday can be my night. So when you asked me to do tonight, I already canceled my show tonight with the ladies because I say, I don't want to do anything Wednesday. I want you guys to have the time because I need that. I'm in here today cleaning and carrying on Wednesday. And then I remember, oh, Wendy's show, the fashion show. So I say, I'm going on, girl. I start looking for lipstick, looking for my red to match my lips, which is a little off. But let me tell you something. I couldn't say no to you because I've never called on you and you have said no to me. So tonight I make an exception for you to be live again on Facebook. But let me tell you something. One thing I've learned, Wendy, if we don't try to lift our sisters and our brothers up, we're going to always stay where we are because it's bad when people say you're sold out or you sell out. Because if Wendy decides she just want to go to Paris and the only place she's going to work in Paris, Wendy sold out. But when Wendy stay here trying to work among her own is not pushing Wendy. And that's a problem. I think that people feel that when they push you, you're going higher and they remain lower. But they don't understand the more I push you, the more I rise. Because Wendy, there is one thing that's not going to happen is that you are going to rise, but you're going to remember if you have the heart, the people that help you to get there. So they'll never be forgotten. It's a great feeling when you can look back and say, yes, because of me. Yes, that was part of my doing. It make you want to shout. But we don't know how to do that because everybody wants to be on the top. But sometimes God calls some of us to be right at the bottom. And if that's where He put us to lead, that's where we should be. So I'm telling you, you keep doing what you're doing in the world of fashion. Don't cross over because sometimes it's crossing over that trip us up.
as I always tell people, I stay in the lane that I know. And this is what I know. And this is what I breathe. As I tell everybody, fashion is in my heart, style is in my veins. And until next week, Wednesday, Avril, it's the holidays. This is the queen of style saying, have an amazing holiday. And you know, I have to bring something for you and I'll drop it off. But listen, it's the holidays. We came from a huge year of crisis and this pandemic. And I just want to wish everybody out there a really happy holiday. Those who have it and those who don't, let's just support each other and celebrate together because we are still breathing. And that's the most important thing right now, that we have each other and we have a support factor. We have to be strong. We don't know what 2021 would bring, but I'm sure it cannot be anything worse than 2020 has supported us.
Absolutely.
So until next week, Wednesday, Avril, I got to tell you, thank you so much for joining me on Style Wednesday. Audience, you guys know how it is. What we say, what we do. But I gotta give my sponsors a little bit. Glasses by Blink Couture, accessories by Most Dynasty, and my hair by Natural Hair out there, and my garment by Myrna Patterson out there in Brooklyn, New York. So guys, as I have to give you guys a shout out always, and I want to say again, happy holidays. What do I say? Remember, don't wear the style where you wear the style. And until next week, Wednesday, it's the boss lady, the queen of style, saying, have a fantastic, stylish week and a happy holiday. Thank you, Ava.
Same to you. Thank you, Wendy. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
You too.